Okay, so it's 7:06 on the 6th. And I just saw this video. I'm being like really bothered by things. I'm definitely being triggered. But the thing is I'm seeing people all around me. Everybody's like on high trigger intensity. Like everybody's being triggered about things. So I think it's just in the air. But dang, I'm sure being triggered. So I just got this last cup of tea because we're going to go pick up my sister this morning. So it's like, I'm going to do this for, it's like as soon as I'm doing this, then we're leaving. It's like, yeah, that's one thing too. It's like, it's this whole thing. It is always just like rush, 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 rush. But then sometimes you're just sitting there. Like my brother took this long, long nap yesterday. And I was just kind of like, oh, no, sitting around. But I was talking to other people on the phone. But anyways, so hold on. I'm kind of getting ready at the same time. So I'm gonna go pick up my sister. So I saw my other brother last night and my sister-in-law, which I hadn't seen my sister-in-law in so long. God, it's weird how time can go by. And then my brother, I hadn't seen him since I was like, I haven't seen my dad or my sister that I'm going to see today since my dad died, since we came when he was sick. And so that was, I saw this brother, the one that's sick here, the one that we're all coming to visit. I had seen him because I came to make that movie with him. But I don't think I saw any of the other ones until we came when my dad was sick. And it was right when he was dying. So I think that was like 2015 or something. So it's been a long time. And it was way more fresher in my brain injury back then. I was not doing as well. Now, hold on, because this is, every time I move, it's bouncing this thing. So one of the triggers that I had this morning was, this was just weird. I swear to God. Because I have the same thing with, who you follow, where it's like, what? I'll tell you the story just a second. Let me hook this thing. And then move this freaking thing. I can't sleep in these anklets. I don't know, they're heavy and kind of pointy. Like they're like little edges. Hold on. I could have done this first, but I'm just like this. This is my real self. I'm not pretending to be something I'm not. Okay. Hold this. Move this off the chair a little, so it's not bouncing every 2 seconds. Because this thing I have is just on the top of this little tray table. It's up against the chair too hard. Okay, so anyways, this trigger was weird. So there's this guy, these supposedly spiritual people will run across my For You page or whatever on the TikTok, which I haven't been posting on there. So it's like, I don't know. TikTok is annoying anyways. But I still go on to see what other people are posting. And there's lots more people coming out as being more spiritual now. Like there's more and more people that seem like they know or have a better headset or something, a better mindset on spirituality. And but then a lot of times it just takes a turn to me. It's like, so this guy, he's saying, like he's saying all the right things and having the right attitude and all that stuff. And then there was a point in time, and so I followed him, and then he followed me back. And so in my mind, I think, oh, see, I'm connecting with other spiritual people, right? That's how I'm looking at it in my mind. And thinking like we're on the same wavelength or something. Which, fuck, man. There's so many of these people that throughout these years that you come across and you think like you're on the same wavelength. And then it's like, what? So, now I'm not trying to be judgmental, but it does always seem like you're like putting yourself in your direction. It's like you're in judgment of others, but it's like, no. To me, like I've said, the crossover is, it's like an awareness of setting boundaries of this is me, that's you, like a separation. And the judgment to me, because there is a sense of judgment in order to determine you're not right for me, you're not right for, you know, to pull yourself into frame. But the, which I'm never quite in frame, am I? But the bad part of judgment is when you see somebody as not having worth, not having value. Like, not everybody has to be right for you. You're not right for everybody. But it's when you take the extra step to think like they have no value. They have no worth. They're not the same as me, so they don't have worth. And everybody has worth. It's like the biggest part of the problem is people got to see their own worth themselves. You got to value you. It's like you got to set your own price tag. And there's no right or wrong, because even as like a spiritual person, you can become very isolated. You get too, you know, well, they don't know, they don't get it, they don't, you know. And so that can become a negative. That can become something, you know, like you want to do different, you know. But it's you who are determining. You're the one making the rules for yourself. You don't want to be putting your rules on other people. That's another toxic thing. It's a thing I've seen as of late that people do. And I've talked about before in different ways, but it is like essentially you're creating rules for other people. You need, this is where I'm comfortable, how I'm comfortable living, so you need to also live in this range. But to me, the thing is, it's like we're in a card shuffle right now. It's like the cards are being shuffled. Hold on. Yeah. It's like the cards are being shuffled and a hand is being dealt. And, hold on. So it's like I can understand it, but when I get these little visual things, hold on. So it's like we're in this shuffle right now. And, but the deal, the cards being dealt is like, but we're going back into alignment. So it's like we're going through this shuffle, because it's kind of like you can get something from everybody. You get opportunities to see yourself, but you know, you got to be willing to look at yourself. But so the cards are being shuffled, but it's like we're going, you know, back into our suit, back into our, where we're in alignment, where things line up. So we're going through the shuffle to get back in tune and find our own vibration. So we will be gravitating or I swear to God, that's a part of this magnetism and all that stuff, is the natural procession of realignment with the people in your vibration. So people who vibe at the same as you. So there's you're more in tune with one another. You get each other. You understand each other in a different way. And that's not to say we're going to be living in separation. But right now, it's just like, it's such a chaotic energy with so much, you know, especially just like, you know, you think you are kind of like in the same kind of vibe as like this person. And then all of a sudden it's like, what? What? And, so, because on this guy, there's a bunch of these people that, you know, they'll be talking and I'll be like, oh yeah, I get. So I will follow them, and then I'll have like some type of communication, like I'll comment on their stuff or whatever. And now I'm seeing as like, oh, they aren't looking at me the same way I'm looking at them. They're not going like, you know, looking at my stuff. And then plus, I even had to put it even more in perspective, is like, I don't even really tell that much on TikTok. You'd have to go and leave that platform and go to this one, and that's their platform. So they don't really get me, so I can't take it personally. I can't just take it as like, well, you know, whatever. You can take things as personally as you want to take them. But it's like I was talking about yesterday. You got to also notice their perspective. So I can see like, oh, this person doesn't really know me. They're not really interested in knowing me. They aren't really looking. They're just looking for followers. They're just looking for followers and interaction on their video. They're not like, oh, hey, they're spiritual. You know, we're starting to form a community here. There is some out there. There is definitely some that are like that, where we're more of like looking for alignment, you know, in the direction and community and stuff like that. So there's some out there, but this guy, he started having these like meltdowns with his videos. So he started kind of having these meltdowns, but I had seen this other girl who I started following years and years ago, and she was talking to me, and we were talking about spiritual stuff, but she said some stuff that I was like, I don't know, I don't think we're quite on the same wavelength. And then so as I started seeing her progression, hers was like constantly these meltdowns, falling apart. It was just like, whoa. So I was like, yeah, we're not in the same place, which is nothing wrong with where you're at. Just, you know, it's a way of looking at things. It's a way of looking at life and stuff. And so this guy, he started doing the same kind of thing, have these meltdowns, and then, you know, like being pissed at people and saying stuff online and stuff. And so I just kind of, you know, I just skip those videos and just be like, okay, well, he's being triggered. He's got a point that he's trying to heal. He's like going in a certain direction or whatever. And then he was talking about being homeless. So then I, you know, was trying to bond on that thing, you know, and, you know, coming together of like, yeah, well, I am too, and stuff like that. So then I thought, oh, see, we're kind of becoming friends. So, but the online is such a illusion. It's weird. So then, because you can sit there and think, oh, we're becoming friends, which any of you guys who I talk to, I look at you guys like friends. You know, when I'm talking about stuff to other people, I always refer to you guys as my friends. Oh yes, my follower. I don't do that. I'm like my friends. We're friends. We're talking to each other. We're getting to know each other and talking about real things and going in a certain direction as like a team of people or something. But I don't think everybody has that attitude. Hold on. And then in the illusion of me thinking like that they kind of have an idea who I am, which is, that's my own fantasy world. And then, so he's been struggling this fella. And really having a hard time to the point where it was like, I don't know, he seemed kind of like he was questioning his spirituality, questioning, you know, what's the fucking point of this shit? He was really going down. But that's the thing, too, with a lot of these spiritual people, is they've tried to jump. They've tried to skip. They've tried to go past all the stuff without working through it. And you can't do that. You can't do it. I can't stress this enough. This concept of jumping from here to there. It's like, but you have to have something that gets you from here to there. It's like, I don't know. It's like they want to do advanced work when they're still in kindergarten or something. So this, because everything is development. The soul is in development. And It's like they just come up with these these concepts. Well, I'm going to do that, you know, and then they go and then they skip over all of this time that we've had to be triggered and to work through our triggers. And so I'd already seen, you know, he was having these meltdowns and stuff, and then his life was plummeting, and he had been homeless his whole life, and he, you know, he's really feeling sorry for himself, and people are mean, and people are saying mean things and stuff. It's like, well, yeah, but why are you letting it bother you? You just gotta, but, you know, here I'm saying that, but at the same time, I'm also saying this person said something that bothered me because it was a trigger. So that's the thing, you know, it's funny because that's something in my whole life that was always pointed out to me, no matter what. I was whining and crying about them, whatever it was. It would always point out this other stuff to me, where it would always pull me back into this other place. But so he the other day he was posting about he has this little French bulldog, and he needed to rehome it because he's homeless. He can't live like this anymore or something. He can't. So I mess it because I always feel bad, like feel bad about the dog situation, and I always feel like people are more connected to their dogs and stuff, like I am or something. And so he had said, I said, oh, you know, are you looking for like somebody to just watch a dog for a while, you know, till you could get your place, and where are you? And he's way across the country. And so I was like, well, you know, I can't do anything for you. So I just was like, well, you know, sorry, there's nothing I can really do. And I think he said, I don't know, some of his comments have popped up, but I know at some point he had said that he it wasn't temporary. He wasn't looking for somebody to just watch his dog until he got on his feet. And so and he was across the state, so I was like, okay, no, you know, it's like I would, if somebody was nearby, and I don't even know for sure if I have someplace where I'm going, but I was like, well, you know, maybe if I have a place I'm going, I could help this person out, and I could watch their dog until they can get their place. And so, you know, because that's how I kind of just feel that's how we're supposed to be, just helping each other out, and, you know, being more holding hands in life rather than shutting doors. You know, it's just more of we pull each other up instead of push each other down. So it's like a flipping of the energy, because we've been in this dog-eat-dog hierarchy world, and which was a part of the indoctrination of the creating division and creating this emptiness in life. Because I've seen a lot of this stuff about the whole motivation behind the, when you're 18, it's time to move out. When you graduate high school, like these plateaus, these doorways that they created, was really, you think it's a doorway to independence, but really it was a doorway into, oh, we'll get them all living in separate houses, then we get all the bills from all these places, whereas people used to, as tribes or as in some cultures and stuff, there's a lot more, people stayed in their home way longer. And like some, I guess the people stayed in their homes until they got married, and some you know, they stay in their homes, and then they just like switch roles around, and as the parents get older, they take care of them. It's just like this. It's a lot more. It's a lot more better for us, and not as good for them, because then there's a lot more sharing the bills. We're not all paying our own. We all kind of combined money, and so they didn't want that. So they purposefully came up with these things about, you know, when you're 18, move out, and then they get them all locked into debt and stuff. So it's just a debt enslavement, and in a process of keeping us in separation. And then plus, you know, people move out and they don't work out things with their families, so they don't process their triggers in the right way. They don't really grow. They grow apart from people instead of growing as a person. So they grow more in separation and more of like, I'm not dealing with you. I'm not dealing with you. Which my one daughter, who has been the one who always pushes me on the bound, like who is given me the most platform to work on my boundaries, because I was really lacking boundaries. And when somebody is pushing you, you can feel like, what an asshole or whatever. But when you can see why they're pushing you, when you can look at it as a spiritual thing, you see, oh, they're pushing me so that I have better boundaries. And so they're giving me a gift where it feels like they're just coming at you. But really, they're helping you to learn how to be stronger and be more, persistent, assistant, like all these different words. But yeah, they're teaching you something when you feel like you're being pushed. But in our culture at this point, people just leave home and they don't want to deal with their parents and all that stuff. Which there's a thing coming that Donald's doing also with nursing homes. But he's supposed to start the first year, which we're getting closer and closer to. But he had already said that there was going to be this change where he was going to start paying people to stay home and teach the kids at home. And then he was also going to pay people to keep their parents at home and take care of their parents, quit putting them in nursing homes and stuff. But now he's saying that they're going to change the nursing homes. So it's going to kind of be like the people who kind of like, we're going to put this money into nursing homes, but if you want to put money into, if you're willing to take care of your parent, then you can have money to do that. But they're going to turn nursing homes into a lot better. It's not going to be like state-run hellacious facilities. You're going to maybe take them more into like retirement homes with care or something. I don't know, but there's going to be some changes that are coming at the first of the year. But he also has been laying the groundwork for people to start taking people home. But then the people, I guess, that don't have family or have nobody that's going to take them, they're going to live more civilized. They're not going to live in this way that people have been living, which I still haven't finished that movie, so I still don't know. But my brother was talking about, my brother that got here last night, he was saying that he had just watched it, and he said it was really good. And so I asked him, is this what it's about? And he said, well, you're close, but it's not quite. And so I still don't know what it's about, so I still got to see. But it's not like they're stealing his body for their consciousness. There's something more to it, but I don't know what it is yet. Hold on, let me just finish this real quick. So, anyways, but when we live at home and we don't really have choices and we have to work out stuff with our families and find balance in a group, then it helps us as souls develop more. It helps us grow. So it's a positive, but they get us to move out and move on. And then there's so much turmoil that starts. So many people are kind of left out there like lonely and isolated. And now they're not getting along with their family. Like there's so many problems, but it's all this created of how they've directed our society. So it's the way we've been programmed, or the way this program runs, and the way we've adapted to it. So it's, but it's all falling apart. It's all going to change. But anyway, so this guy with his dog. So I had just messaged that, and then I was like, okay, well, there's nothing really I can do. And so, but if he would have been like, oh, well, I'm in Idaho, I'd been like, well, I could probably, but I would still be like, I was just helping this person out. And I'm not trying to take their dog or whatever. And because there's so many dogs out there. So, I mean, there's dogs on fucking death row that, So, anyways, but there was a message this morning that I got when I very first went on there. There's this big message. And it's like, I'm rehoming my dog. When you want to have a real conversation about ethical, financial, like essentially selling his dog And when you want to talk about paying a fair price for my dog, we'll talk. I was like, what? Is he talking to me? You talking to me? Like, I had said something, you know, well, I don't know, it seems like a couple of weeks ago, but it was definitely not just like the other day. And then I saw, well, there was another comment, but it was like, geez. Like, and plus then I was like, okay, and we're not even vibing the same. Like, that's, you know, what? I mean, I had two things going against me when I left the cabin. You know, when I stopped paying, that wrecked my credit, which they want credit for you to go rent any of their other places because it's fucking corporate run. And when you're not going to be a part of, you're not going to be a good citizen and pay your banking debts, then they destroy your credit. And then all the rest of them are alerted, oh no, she's trouble, she's trouble. So the credit score is one of the things, you know, that holds you back. And then the dogs. And it isn't even the two little ones, you know, because people are, well, you could have got rid of those foster dogs. But those ones aren't the problem. You know, people have rented to me all day long, two little pugs. The problem is breeds and Stella. And so Stella's size and her breed. And so they don't want to rent to me for that. Well, there's no motherfucking way I'm going to get rid of Stella so I can fucking go live in a goddamn corporate apartment. I'm like, fuck no. And luckily enough, you know, my mom did give me space in her garage to build a little camp for myself so I could stay with my dogs, but she's also an animal lover. And so, anyways, but I have a very different way of looking, a very different attitude. And so, you know, I just was like, ka-ching. So you have this expensive breed dog, and so you're trying to sell it for money. And I was just like, I don't know, there's just something in our society that's so price tag, everything's fucking price tag. And it's just, oh God, it just feels so dirty to me. It's like, I don't know. It's like a part of our society that has to roll out of that. We got to quit giving value like that to things. We got to give this other kind of value, like this value of your own importance or something, and different, you know, like the importance of relationships, and even with your dog or whatever, to just think, well, I'll just make money off of that, and then I'll have some money, sell my dog. Which I imagine, you know, if you've been homeless your whole life, you're not out there paying $5,000 for a dog. And so you probably got it at the pound or got it from somebody else or something. And so, but then to think, well, what do I have? What do I have? Like, I'll sell that. And I don't know. But you know, whatever drives people, whatever. But that's where I started seeing, like, oh, we're not on the same wavelength. We're not really vibing in the same. But there was all these things leading up to it. But then that was the kicker where I was like, and so then when he said that this morning to me, I was like, okay, you just, I don't even want to be a part of this conversation anymore, for one thing. It's like I just had entered it just to be like, hey, where are you at? If I could help you, I would. And that's it. You know, I was done with it at that point. And then it just, I've gotten so many fucking notifications off this fucking thing. And then, but the attitude too, I was like, oh, we're not on the same vibration. We're not, you know, we look at things differently. And so, and there's just the whole way when you're ready to have an ethical conversation about, it's like, dude, I'm not trying to steal your motherfucking dog. I was trying to say, hey, do you need a place for it to stay for a little while? Like, and I don't even know that he was talking to me. If there was other people, you know, because there was other comments under my comment. So, but it was right under my thing, and I was like, no. So I just went in and unfollowed him and deleted my comment off of his thing so I could be out of this conversation. And I even thought, like, well, you could go in and just block him and not deal with him. But I was thinking from his perspective, it probably looks like, oh my God, she just wants my dog. She just, but I don't care. Yeah, I mean, Because to me, it is more of just letting go, because I'm moving towards people on my same vibration, people that look at things the same way as me, people who have more of the same priorities as me. And so it's, yeah, and right now, in the shuffle, it is bringing up a lot of stuff for people. And a lot of people, like, man, it's crazy. I think that's the cat, but it's kind of wild out there. I'm pretty sure that's one of the cats. But like this little girl's TV was like blaring. It's like, how do you sleep through that? And then I already heard somebody else up, so I don't know. I think it's not kids. I think it's the cats. But anyways, so I don't know. You gotta, because I know, people start feeling like in alignment or an alliance with certain people, and they follow them and stuff, and so you feel like this, like you owe somebody something, like you owe them. It's like you don't really owe people anything. You don't really. And then that is kind of like you can take that in another direction where, but that's where you got to find balance. You can't just go way over here. You can't go way over here and way over here. You got to pull in more in the middle. And that, because then somebody going to be like, well, I don't value anybody. Nobody's as good as me. I'm better than everybody, and then you start getting into that. And that leads more in the hierarchy. So I'm not saying I'm better than this guy or whatever, but I'm not on the same vibration. I don't want to sit and have his videos pop up anymore about his meltdowns and whatever. It's like, okay, I thought that, because there's some of these people keeping open, because there's communities forming. Like, there's some fucking cool communities that are forming. There's lots with women, lots of women coming together. And like one woman, she went, I think hers is in Texas, and she went and bought 5 acres, and then she put a tiny house on it. And then she said, other women who want to come and put a tiny house, you can bring a camper, you can put a tiny house, whatever you want to live in, you can come and put it out there, and then you just pay $450 for rent. So it helps her pay for the land. And so, and it's her income now, she's invested into this. And so all these women started going and bringing and putting in little tiny homes. So it's like this little tiny home village. And I saw him talking about it. It's really cool because everybody's there for each other. If somebody's sick, people cook for them and bring them food. And in the evening, they go out and they sit around the fire and talk and stuff. I think she's got like 10 different tiny homes now out there. And then I saw another guy who, he's a spiritual guy, but he's in England somewhere. And he, I think, but he's in Europe somewhere. And he also ended up at a little place like that. And so that is one thing, is like keeping more tapped into, where things headed, where are people going. But I don't want to end up going somewhere where I'm not in alignment with the people. I don't want to be around people who think I'm weird or whatever. And, some of the people who are going in those directions, that doesn't mean they automatically wouldn't think I was weird. Like, there's lots of people. They don't get where I'm coming from. They don't get where my information comes from. They don't get how I look at things. So, but then, these people who are all in alignment, and then they start this community. But that's what I said, is that there's going to be a lot of these different communities popping up all over the place. And there's going to be a lot of people on the same vibration coming together. And so, but that doesn't mean that you are going to fit into every single one. And so, because I've seen that too. Whenever these people are like, oh, I also want to live in a community type of living, or commune or whatever. I want to live with a group of people who we all work together and stuff. And these people are doing it. So then they zip over there and think, oh, this is my solution. They zip in. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we don't think we're the same at all. We're not alike at all. Just because some people have these theories and we match in theory, but that's kind of the direction the society is going. We're going to go more towards community, more towards unity. We're going to start, but we're also in this vibration of chaos right now that is moving us around. And so it is how I was shown a long, long time ago, and I see this still, is like you take, it's, I think it's some kind of game or something, but you take, it's like this big board, and it has like a star, like a, not just a 5-pointed star, like a 10-pointed star. So a star laying over a star. And then you have these different marbles. They're all in the middle. They're all different colors. So all these different colored marbles. And then the game starts to vibrate. And the game is vibrating and vibrating and vibrating. And then the marbles start going into different points of the star. And when it stops vibrating, all the marbles in each point match. So that was being shown to me and shown to me and shown to me, where, you know, in my translation was we are going through a vibratory shuffle, and we will automatically be magnetized or magnetically pulled towards where we're supposed to go. It's like you don't have to force it. You don't have to, and then that's where you don't have to go and bang on doors and force them open. It will all happen naturally, and you will be gravitated towards. That's funny too, because they try and tell us about gravity, but really everything they tell us, it's different. Like gravity holds you down, but really gravity pulls you in directions. And so you gravitate towards something, you go towards something. And so we're this shuffling, this vibrational change that automatically will roll you where it is you need to be to the group that is in your vibration, which will make it a more positive experience for you. But also, that is you going through the things to learn about acceptance, so then you aren't at battle with the other colors, the other points. You are, it's like, because throughout time there's been so much of control in that, so it was creative, but it was also like programmed into societies. And so the battle over religion, information, war, all that stuff, which I just saw this other video. I've been having these ones pop up too. These, I don't know, rabbis or whatever they, and again, they call us goyim. So in the way they say it, it's like, it's not like, oh, the humans, the species or whatever. That's why I'm saying, like, there's different tribes here. Different tribes have been trying to take over throughout. Different ones have teamed up. Like, I don't know what the blues are, if they're some kind of a branch from the vamps. Like, I don't know. But the way that the goyim, and they say it in such a disgust. But he said, even if you took one goyim who is righteous, was a good person, they wouldn't even match. You could take one blue, and they could be a little righteous, they could be a little good, and they're going to still be better than 100,000 of the goyim kind of shit. It's like that stuff right there. So let's just say in this world of separate, you know, as things are going, that people who think like that, like they're better than all the other people, they, let's say, they would be going to a place of separation, and then they would just have each other to battle with. It's not going to be like a hierarchy where people are going to be over each other. it's going to, by the vibration, create your separation. So just like the lady who, did the pervy stuff with the kids and got 100 years in jail, that created her separation. She went in a very isolated thing, because the other people, the ones that can be accepting, like, I may be a red marble and you may be a blue marble, you may be a yellow marble, you may be a marble, or then, the marbled kind of marble. We all can be different colors, but we accept all of these other ones. See, that opens up these other worlds. So that opens our world to a bigger world, where the universe, the galactic, the whole world opens up to us. And so it's the more that you learn acceptance and forgiveness, and acceptance is such a big one. The more that you get into that groove, the more that opens to you. The more that you come into, oh, well, I'm better than everybody else. Oh, well, the goyim, the MAGAs, the liberals, the blah, 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 blah. Whatever, the Christians, the whatever, where you start thinking, oh, they're fucking worthless. They're stupid ass. Like, who fucking cares about them? Garbage people. Which there is some garbage people around. But they're going to naturally create their own separation. They're going to naturally be pulled away from the people. It's all like this gravitation towards your belief system. And when you believe in separation, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a life of living in separation. And so that's why I try and stress the fact of coming together. And the more you can learn to accept, then the more it will open your world up. So you get to have more experience, because what do you want your world to be? What do you want? What kind of world do you want to live in? And I want to live in one that is full of adventure, full of, meeting all sorts of different people, seeing how different people live, going into different places, going through portals, getting over here, getting over there, go experience the different creations that people have created to live. So I want to open my experience and, accept all different people in all different ways of life. And also, another thing, too, that people get themselves into this hierarchy and judgment and stuff is because you see this culturally, and there's a lot of this, especially it's going on right now. It's right at the surface. But like, oh, well, in the Middle East, they marry children. They have sex with boys. These certain things that are accepted where that culture is. And so they feel that they need to judge them, and that's not okay. They need to change and stuff like that. And see, they will become separate in your thing, but that doesn't invalidate their experience of what they're there to learn. Because throughout time and space, this isn't the only time that this has occurred. There's other times in space where those encounters have occurred, and those of us as souls and soul journeys, we've gone and lived in these other times in space. And that's why that when we see that we would be like, that's not the way to live, because we've experienced it, we learned already. But you can't stop other people from learning what they're here to learn. And so they're here to learn, but that doesn't mean you conform. That doesn't mean you say, well, that's okay. But like you keep your standard and stuff, and then that also, when a standard is set, that creates the other group to begin to question their own ethical practices and to look at things. And then also we still have the thing is that people who think it's okay to be over somebody else, then those groups are going to go into a separation away from the people who don't think that way. So it's not like we're going to have those kind of towns and groups that are going to still be around at this vibration. This vibration is going to be based on people who live with a certain kind of mindset, a certain kind of respect for one another. And not trying to control each other and stuff, but the ones who, you know, think it's okay to do stuff to kids, like culturally. I'm not just talking about just the pervs that, you know, are in our society, but culturally, which, you know, is that also a part of some of these tribes? Because that's one thing, too, that a lot with the blue was set up, but I don't know that it is like, it's like looking at others as like their sex slave or their dinner or something. So it's like these other, I don't know what else to call them, but other alien tribe colonizers that came here and were all going into this separation kind of thing. So but the tribes that come together and can live in unity will create a world that is built on that. But the ones who think like that, which if you think you're over another soul, like I can hurt this soul because they're a child and they don't matter, right there, that is, but that doesn't mean that there's not lessons. That doesn't mean that reality of existence will completely disappear. It will just vibrate away from us. So that will go out into space and to a dream world out where that experience will continue until it's burnt out, until it's done. But the ones who, as this shuffling is occurring, the ones who are able to start seeing like, oh, well, you know, it's like a trigger inside of you that gets you to start looking at things different. It all comes from within, and you can't force somebody to change within. And that's another thing too, is that's coming to the surface so much, is people like wanting to change other people so they can feel comfortable. You can't change somebody else. And if you can't, and when you think like, well, I want to be in a relationship with you, but you need to change in order to be in a relationship with me, then that right there, you're not on the same vibration. In a relationship, you shouldn't need to change anybody, and you shouldn't need to change for anybody. It should be an acceptance. Like you accept them, they accept you, and then the higher vibration, because there's people who do that. There's people who are super toxic and accept each other. But it's a leveling up from that to where is like, I take care of myself. It's like this certain drive, a certain parameter, a certain lifestyle that you choose to live by, then it's like a joining, but it's not this push and pull. It's not this enabler, toxic, codependency in a relationship. It's like two pillars of strength standing and not trying to manipulate or bend or, you know, like trying to, it's like not trying to make each other happy in a toxic way, but being more, it's like even more pure, more strong in their own sense of self, and not needing to change somebody else in order to find their own happiness. But, you know, it's not like, because, you know, we all are independent, sovereign beings. And so, you know, that doesn't mean, you know, you can find people who vibrate with you at the same vibration, but that doesn't mean that they are exact, you know, like every single thing. And so to not feel like, well, I need to change this about them, I need to change that about them so that we can be more better. It's being more of like accepting brings you more better. But there's certain things that people don't want to accept. Like they have certain demands in a relationship. I need this, I need that. And then you're not giving it to them. And then that's where toxic things start to develop in relationships. When you need somebody else to be a certain way so you can find completion, so you can find happiness, so you can feel good about yourself. And there is like these key words and stuff that they've been thrown around, you know, like the love language and the things I need and stuff. But just, you know, that you got to look at those things for you, not like, okay, this is my list, got my list. Okay, this is what you need to do. You want to be with me? This is my list. This is what I need. These are the things that you have to do. Is when you can realize the things that you need, you start trying to figure out, how do I give them to myself? What is it I need? What is the things that I need that I can do for me so that I can feel good, so that I can be a good partner my own self? So I'm not needing and taking, because that's where it develops like this energetic vampirism, where you are draining somebody of their energy, and then it's just these constant toxic patterns that just develop and develop and develop. And so then the other person becomes drained. They become resentful. They think that they're giving and giving and giving. You're not giving back to them what they need. They're giving and giving and giving, trying to, and it's never good enough. It's never going to be good enough, because you got to learn how to give it to yourself. Nobody can complete you. You have to complete you. And so you have to be the whole. You have, and so it's a lot more when you can find the whole, where it's like, oh, I'm good. I feel good. I don't need somebody to come in and complete me. I don't need somebody to make me feel better. I can figure out how to self-soothe. And then you bring two people in together like that, then there is it's a stronger relationship. It's not a push and pull. It's a walking at the same pace. It's like a true partnership. So that is, to me, more the goal of where it is we're headed as we heal ourselves, is bringing ourselves more into partnerships of equality and not this hierarchy. And we're breaking a lot of patterns, and we're breaking a lot of hostility. We're breaking a lot of hierarchy. We're breaking a lot of programs in order to get there. Because all these things, like the things that are hard to get over, it's real. Like, it really is hard to get over some of the stuff. I mean, the sense of patriarchy in our society is a huge influence. And people have been generationally impacted by that programming, by that program being run. And so it's a lot, when you've been taught to disrespect women, it's a lot to then try partnering up with somebody that you don't really respect. They do something, it's like, oh, shut up, I'm going to go get your tampons and stuff. Like, it's like you don't really give them this respect. So, and then they're going to feel it. And then especially if you've got demands of them, and then you discount them and their feelings, see, it's just this constant battling like that. But when you get to a point where, you respect all different people, and for all their different, because everybody's got goods and bads. Like, everybody's, there's nobody perfect. And so but the more you accept of people, like, okay, yeah, women are a lot more emotional than I understand. They've got emotions, but when you can realize that you can learn from that or grow from that, and so you go at it at a different pace than fighting against it, then we start finding peace, and then we start finding mutual respects and stuff throughout our society. When people stop saying, well, I'm liberal, and all the MAGAs, the conservatives, the Reds, whatever, they're all toxic. But when you start really trying to understand them, when each group starts really trying to understand where the other one's coming from, then they start building more of a mutual respect. But that's the direction that people need to go, is going towards this, learning how to respect one another, how to love one another, to stop trying to change people and think they're stupid and worthless and stuff. But that is breaking programs. That's breaking, like, huge influences that have been you've held on to, or have been held over you for a long time in our society. And so when you're breaking programs, then it can be very uncomfortable. But the more you break, the more you keep stepping up and stepping up and stepping up, you will reach a point where it's like you're very accepting and loving towards other people, in that then you start finding yourself up around other people who are also accepting and loving of other people. And then, so you are on this other vibration where then you find more of somebody who matches you, who matches your vibration, who matches your way of thinking, where, you know, throughout the different steps of being there, do you really want to stay on a plateau where you both match, but you're both very toxic? And that's what we have so much of. Even people who think that they're growing and healing and stuff like that, there's so many steps to it. And then you reach a plateau and you're feeling all like, oh, I've let go of so much stuff, I'm doing so well. And then you meet somebody on that plateau, and it's like, yeah, but do you want to stay there? Because you still got a ways to go. You're still forming toxic partnerships. You're still not being independent and sovereign in how you take care of yourself. And that isn't, it's like a difference of being like, I'm cut off, I don't need anybody, I'm, you know, like, it's not that kind of energy. It's like, because we naturally all need each other. We all are this, we're all a part of the same thing. So we naturally need each other, and we feel more fulfilled when we come together. But we can't have so many issues blocking us when we come together that it's just a battle zone. It is like we need to come together in acceptance. And there's going to be groups that do this. There's going to be, this energy is coming into the surface. It's going to be one of the realities that becomes, I mean, I know it's the one I'm going to, but there's still going to be these other ones, just like these people who are like, the goyim are garbage, and we, the blues, we're the superior beings, we're the spirit race, we don't need those motherfuckers. Then they'll create their own little world where they won't have that. They'll be their own little thing, and then they'll find other things to fight about, and then they'll create whatever. I don't know if some of these realities will just like play out and the game will be over once they play through, or if it will create a reality that will continue to circulate. Because the one we're creating for the age of Aquarius, where people are in unity and love and respect for one another, that one is going to continue. That's not just like, oh, well, we're going to go and we're going to live that and we're going to go play that out. No, this is a creation of a whole new reality. It's a whole new place where other beings will start to come. So other creatures or space creatures or colonizers from other places, and more people will come to this one. That is also, you can see that happening right now because we have beings coming. There's beings coming. The sky's got, like, I just saw, Amy sent me a video of, I don't know, one of those weather radar things or whatever it is. And there's a cool ass thing up in there. I don't know if it's like a portal. I don't know if it's a planet. I don't know if it's a ship. But we really are having this convergence, this merging of realities through this vibration. So see, we're creating a whole new world for this certain vibration. But these other ones that don't get it and aren't with it, they're going to just separate. I just can't say that they're going to build a reality that is going to continue being birthed into, or the ones that are birthed into it are just going to play it out, and then they're going to leave that one and go somewhere else. But but there will be, I think, definite creation between a positive and a negative. Those two will separate, and the positive will go in one direction and the negative will go in another direction. But again, I don't know that the negative would include, you know, like the rapture. Like that can really be a whole thing that's going to separate and go on its own. And that would be like a whole group of people separating to go have an experience of learning. Everything's about learning. I mean, even in the age of Aquarius, we're going to be learning from each other. We're going to be learning. Dang. My brother just said something. So it's been an hour. So I started at 7:06. This is about 8:06, so he still shouldn't be here for like a half hour. But I'm really getting to the point of having to pee really bad too. So, I bet my sister's plane is late from weather, so it could still be more late. He might message me again. We'll see. But it is funny too because this is all four of us back together. We're the ones who grew up together, and it's like I don't know. It's like our last hurrah or something before separation, which, I don't know who all's going where. That's the thing. You don't know who's going where. And so, because there's going to be other realities, I think, it kind of seems like to me, though, this is just my interpretation, It kind of feels like that this energy, which there's all this energy, like this, I just saw somebody doing a video talking about the red sun, the solar flares, all this stuff going on this weekend. There's a lot, but then they start talking about, well, the planets are lining up and stuff, but it's just like I'm not in the thing when people start talking about space, and there's all this talk about the 3-eye atlas and coming through space, and it's looking like this, it's moving weird, it's doing this, it's doing that, and even storms, some hurricane had started, and then it's jumping over here, it's going there, it's like doing weird shit. But things are not like how we think that they are. And everything is vibration and realities and realm and tuning in and things coming in and out of view and things moving in our reality can't move the same way. And so even if they have their machines that are trying to control the weather, they're losing control, because this is like the assist from the universe. Things are changing. This is an actual cosmic change happening. But it seems to me that it is like we're going to still be in the same place for, it seems like to me that it will be this place. There's going to be more things going on. People are going to be gravitating towards their vibration, but there's going to be a lot of learning and breaking programs going on. And there will be a point where the lower vibration people are going to start noticing the higher vibration people, and it's going to start being like, oh, I want to do that. I want to live like that. I want to get there. How do I get there? And that's, it's like the window. And so that they can start seeing some. That doesn't mean it's the goal that everybody will, because everybody is here to learn what they're here to learn. But that will be one of the ways of learning, is witnessing, seeing. And so to me, it seems like that there is going to be a point, which it can be close, is this change where things start going really good for some people who have been going towards the vibration of believing in themselves, and then the other people who have been trapped in fear and trapped in drama and all this shit going on, that's what's going to help pull them out of it. And so there will be a point where there's all the people are there, but then to me it still seems like this flash of energy that creates a separation where, like, the people who look down on other people, they'll go to where they're meant to be to go play out the rest of their thoughts, the rest of their perspective, to gain more in the perspective. And the thing is when you gain perspective, then you still have to see it from different perspectives. This could be their last perspective of seeing it. This may be their last one, and that's why this is like bringing things full circle. But it may be more than that they need to see. But it could also be that they have more perspectives that they need to go in and experience to get the really full understanding of what it is they're trying to learn. And that's what will keep them more into the lower vibration realms of experience, because that's where you go through those experiences. Because when you get up into the higher vibration of experience, that's where these quantum theories come from and stuff. That's where you start moving through time and space at a different rate, in different ways, and more possibilities become available because it's through vibration. But and that's why when you start getting yourself in the mindset of good things happening, good things can start happening. I just saw a guy and he was going through saying how to reprogram yourself, how to change the way that you think. And he was saying stuff like, so you don't say like, oh, I can't do that. And you are more like, I'm in the process of learning this. And not like, I'll never get this. I'm opening myself to more things coming in. And so it's just this way of rearranging, because that is what changes the molecular structure, like of your experience, is your perception of how you look at it. And when you stay stuck in that I'll never, I don't get, I can't, that perspective holds you into that train of thought, which holds you into that experience as a soul. And so you have to break through those patterns in order to get to the part where you start getting to have the experiences you want. But you have to make them available to you. And that's why you got to go through this healing, because you don't think that you have worth. You don't think you have value. You've been set up through different life experiences to never get what you want. And it never works. And you've lost children. You've lost love. You've lost homes. You've lost all these things through life after life after life. And you've been in these battles with people and stuff. So the feelings you have are real. It's not like you're just a crazy person. It's really are hard things that you're breaking through and breaking free of that hold you back. But and when you start telling yourself like, like I am, like, I can never do that. Instead of saying, well, I can't do that, you start saying, I'm learning how to do this. Then that's what you're doing. You are learning how to be different. You're learning how to value yourself. You're learning how to have more appreciation for yourself, which takes breaking through all of these things, the chains that hold you back, all of these lifetimes of being stuck. And so the ones that are here to break free from that is going to get easier and easier, and they're going to start seeing it's not going to be just easy, but they'll have more direction. They'll have more of understanding of how to get there, because it is so much about learning how to love yourself. I can't even fucking stress that enough, man. And so, but then there's going to be people who have different ways of looking at things, and that is where this separation will come. Like it's gonna keep moving and moving further apart and further apart, but it's still gonna be close enough for these people to get the breeze from change. So they're gonna still have the effects, so it can help them break free. But you've got to remember, even anybody who doesn't break free, it's not because they're not doing it right. It's because they're not here for that. They're here for a different experience. They're here to learn what they came to learn. Your soul knows what the fuck it's doing. No matter if we sit there and we want to judge theirs and be like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They need me. I need to save them. They need my help. That's not true. And that's where in the spiritual journey, that's where you start having to go towards like, we're all sovereign. Our souls know what the fuck is up. Our souls don't need somebody else to come in and do or say anything. Oh no, my brother's calling. Okay, well, I better wrap this up. So, anyways, this is what's up with my hair, my tooth, and I will talk to you tomorrow. My sister could be here. Well, I'll talk to you when I talk to you. So, anyways, just remember until then, you gotta learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody else, and learn how to have the day you want to have, because it's important. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.